Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to another live streaming of basic transfer pricing. Tonight, I will discuss to you the case of Veritas Software Corporation versus the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. The Commissioner of Internal Revenue of the United States, no? And I would like to say thank you po sa ating mga subscribers. Umabot na po tayo ng 493 as of February 17, no? 2021, no? You can just imagine yung date to. Kaya ako I'm very particular of the date kasi ibang date na tagal ng patagal, no? Ibig sabihin, umabot ka sa ganyang date. Okay. So this case was decided by United States Tax Court in December 10, 2009. No? So this is an old case. Bakit natin to diniscuss sa inyo? Kasi this is an old case pero it's worth na of discussion kasi ito yung mga time na nagkakaroon pa ng ambiguity in the definition of intangibles, no, and how to value the intangibles. Kahit hanggang ngayon naman, no, there is still problems in the valuation of intangibles, how to value it, na hindi magkasundo yung tax authority and also the taxpayers. In this case of Veritas Software, panalo yung Veritas dito, no? Kasi ang valuation ng Veritas mababa lang, but yung valuation dito ng intangibles ng United States Court, the tax authority pala yung Commissioner of Internal Revenue, mas mataas, no, as compared sa valuation ng taxpayer. So nag-assess sila dito na additional amount. The taxpayer or the Veritas go to court and then was able to defend the position na arm's length po yung kanyang valuation of the transfer of its intangible from the Veritas US to Veritas Ireland, another subsidiary. Okay, so but before we go through, no, let us see how this Veritas, or ano ba itong ginagawa ng Veritas? Because in every transfer pricing analysis po, napaka-importante that you'd have to define the industry, the operations ng taxpayer, no? Or ng entity being undergoing transfer pricing audit, no? So in this case, the Veritas software companies or the Veritas US, no? Okay, so let us start with the discussions on the functions of this Veritas software, no? So Veritas Software Corporation and subsidiaries, Semantic Corporation or the successor interest to Veritas Software Corporation and subsidiaries. Kasi pagka tinignan natin itong history ng Veritas Software, yung pinakahuli talaga, pinaka-latest niya is binili na siya ng Semantic Corporation, no? Okay. So in this case, anong nangyari dito, no? This discussed here that P or the parent company entered into a cost-sharing arrangement with S. With S meaning the subsidiary, no? Shout out, Hari.
Wala pa pong shoutout, madam.
Ilan yung viewers natin?
Yung viewers po na 5 viewers.
Okay, so shout out po sa mga viewers natin. I-chat mo sila, Vanji, no? Na magbukas sila sa atin para at least mapanood din nila. Okay, so shout out po sa mga viewers po natin and thank you very much for watching. Okay. So in this case, P or the parent company, which is Veritas US, entered into a cost-sharing arrangement with S, the subsidiaries. In this case, ito yung Veritas Ireland, no? It's foreign subsidiary to develop and manufacture storage management software products. Ito yung storage management software products, Hari, ito yung mga drives, no? Ito yung kung saan sinisave, backup na mga copies, no? So, pursuant to the cost-sharing arrangement, P granted S the right to use certain pre-existing intangibles in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. As a consideration for the transfer of pre-existing intangibles, S made a 166 million buy-in payment to P. No? So, anong nangyari dito? Ni-license ni US ang subsidiary niya sa Europe para mag-manufacture din ng itong software products. No? P employed the comparable uncontrolled transaction method to calculate the payment. Kasi ang valuation niya 166. But if you try to look at later, ang valuation dito ng tax authority or the IRS or the commissioner is more than 2 billion and later down to 1.6 billion. No? Imagine yung 1.6 sa 166 million na layo. P employed the comparable uncontrolled transactions method to calculate the payment. In a notice of deficiency issued to P, inassist na siya ng BIR dito, ng IRS. No? Yun yung counterpart ng BIR sa US. R employed an income method and determined a requisite buy-in payment of 2.5 billion. No? 2.5 billion yung inassist sa kanya. No? But later on, nagiging 1.6 billion na siya. No? And made an income allocation to P of that amount. In an amendment to answer, R reduced the allocation from 2.5 to 1.6 billion. R further determined that the requisite buy-in payment must take excuse me, must take into account access to P's research and development team, access to P's marketing team and P's distribution channels, customer list, trademarks, trade names, brand names, and sales agreements. So lahat ng intangibles ng P or ng parent company, ni-license niya or pinagamit niya sa subsidiary. And the value is 166 million according to Veritas. But according to the commissioner, nag-umpisa na siya ng 2.5 billion and later on reduced to 1.6 billion. No? P contends that R's determination are arbitrary, capricious, and unreasonable. And the comparable uncontrolled transaction method is the best method to calculate the requisite buy-in payment. So, in its contention, the taxpayer naman, yung na-audit dito, yung si Veritas US, ang sabi niya, the assessment daw na ginawa ng IRS is arbitrary, capricious, unreasonable. So, yun yung mga reasons na ma-invalidate yung assessment, no? Unreasonable. And then, yung comparable uncontrolled transaction, ito yung method. Kaya nga, mayroon tayong forthcoming na free 2-day seminar in basic transfer pricing natin, Hari. Tiningnan mo ba ilan na yung,
6 pa rin.
6 pa rin, no? Kasi ibuboost natin yan para marami. Kasi para isahan na lang sa mga tanong, no? Masagot na natin. So, anong naging isang issue dito? Ang sabi ng taxpayer, si Veritas, that the comparable uncontrolled transaction method is the best method, no? So, kung gagawa po kasi tayo ng transfer pricing analysis, especially here in the Philippines, under revenue regulations, 2-2013, yun yung pinaka-unang guideline natin sa transfer pricing. Ang sabi, in making a transfer pricing analysis, you have to apply all the methods and then recommend the best method, no? So, in short, we are following the best method rule. So, in this case, sabi nung Veritas, comparable uncontrolled transaction method is the best method to calculate, no? Sa ano yung naging opinion dito ng court? R's determination are arbitrary, capricious, and unreasonable. Yun yung opinion ng court na arbitrary, capricious, and reasonable ang assessment ng commissioner. No? And another is that pays comparable and controlled transaction method with appropriate adjustments is the best method to determine the requisite buy-in payment. At uphold pa rin ng court na yung comparable and controlled price method and controlled transaction method is the best method that has to be applied in this case, no? Kasi ang case na to is a buy-in payment ng intangibles that were transferred by the parent company to its subsidiaries in Ireland. Okay. Okay. So, ang anong issue po dito, whether or not the transfer or the consideration of the pre-existing intangible property is pursuant to Section 482. Section 482 is the transfer pricing law ng United States, which is the same or the exact wordings ng Section 50 po natin in our National Internal Revenue Code. No? Okay. So, background. Dito pa sa transfer pricing cases po, yung background are very important. No? Napaka haba ng background. Why? Because you have to see to it that everything is discussed, especially sa functions ng company. No? Kasi minsan sa functions on how the company functions or make transactions, commercial and financial transactions, diyan mo makikita kung nasaan ba yung transfer pricing issues. Because in every transfer pricing case, iba-iba po yung issue. So, sa functions, sa background ng company, matitrace mo kung nasaan lies the transfer pricing issue. No? So, itong background pala, mahaba ito. So, tiningnan ko nga kanina sana matapos natin ng isang anuhan lang, no? Isang live streaming lang. Pero tiningnan ko, hindi. Why? Kasi siguro sa background lang, abutin na tayo ng 2 oras. Why? Because yung background, I don't want to miss the background. Kasi makikita mo dito kung ano yung mga step by step na ginawa ng Veritas, no? Sa kanyang pagdinegosyo or sa kanyang business, no? And then how the company evolved hanggang sa binili na nga siya ng Semantic, no? Kung ano yung mga in-employ niya na mga strategies, no? Kasi para sa akin yun ang pinaka-importante eh. Kahit na makita mo na kung ano yung end. Ito ang talagang sa mga shortcut. Ito yung nawawala sa mga shortcut, no? Halimbawa, magbasa ka ng case. Kasi kahit nag-study ako ng law, hindi ako nagsu-shortcut na doon na lang ako sa health, doon na lang ako sa issue, and then ito yung sabi ng korte. No. Kasi bago ka makarating doon sa opinion, no? How the court resolved the case, kumpisahan mo muna kung ano yung nangyari, anong ginawa, no? Kasi hindi mo maintindihan kung doon ka na lang sa dulo. Kung baga sa doon ka na lang sa resulta, hindi mo muna tiningnan anong nangyari, anong ginawa, bakit nagkaganyan, no? Kaya during my time, nag-aaral ako ng law, ang hahaba ng mga cases, hindi ko maintindihan yung mga digest, no? Hindi ako nag-rely sa digest, doon talaga ako sa long cases, no? Okay, so we'll start with the background. Ano ba itong Veritas? So, ito, ano nangyari dito sa court na to? On August 22, 2007, no, the court issued a protective order to prevent disclosure of petitioner's proprietary and confidential information. Kasi, ano yun, pagka dinisclose mo yung confidential information, nagiging uncompetitive yung party, no? So in this case, the Veritas. Kasi pagka nasa court kasi yung case mo, public yan eh. So anong ginawa ng court dito? Protective order, no? Para i-prevent yung disclosure ng proprietary and confidential information ng taxpayer. Lalo na yung paano niya ginawa yung kanyang product, paano niya mina-manufacture. The facts and opinion have been adapted accordingly, and any information set forth therein is not proprietary or confidential. No? Kasi kung ano man yung discussion dito sa case, no longer confidential. Yung confidential matter, hindi na dinidiscuss. So Veritas US is a Delaware corporation with its principal place of business in Cupertino, California. No? So US corporation po ang Veritas US. So during 1999, 2000, and 2001, ito yung 3 years in issue. Ito yung under audit siya. Veritas US was the parent of a group of affiliated subsidiaries. Meron siyang mga subsidiaries, siya yung parent, the Veritas US. Veritas US is in the business of developing, manufacturing, marketing, and selling advanced storage management software products. So, kung ikaw ang gumagawa ng transfer pricing analysis, titingnan mo na ngayon, to start with the functions, ito yung developing, manufacturing, marketing, and selling advanced storage management software products. No? Kasi bakit? Alamin mo kung ano yung functions niya, ano yung ginagawa niya for your comparables. Kasi hindi pwede ang transfer pricing na walang comparables. No? That's why in this case, ano yung ginamit niya sa method na comparable uncontrolled transaction method. So, meaning mayroong comparables. No? Okay. Veritas US products protect against data loss and file corruption. Yun yung Veritas product. No? Hindi mawala yung data mo and then hindi ma-corrupt yung file mo. Manage and backup system without user interruption and provide performance improvement and reliability enhancement of features that are critical for many commercial applications. No? So, halimbawa, nag-store na siya ng information. No? So, yan ang mga kagandahan ng technology ngayon because it keeps on improving. No? Even itong sa pag-backup natin ng mga files. And that is because also, one of the effort there is that of Veritas US kasi talagang namuhunan sila sa research and development in order to develop a much advanced product in terms of software management and storage. No? So in the mid to late 1990s, no? So prior to this year, 1999, 2000, and 2001, wherein they were subjected to transfer pricing audit. So prior to that, in the mid-late 1990s, Veritas US expanded its business through corporate acquisition and establishment of foreign subsidiaries. Yan talaga ang way on how to expand, no? So, paano mag-expand? Corporate acquisition, bibili ka ng mga existing na corporations. Kaya nga, yung iba, yan ang ginagawa nila, nagbabayaan sila ng corporations. Yung iba naman, gawa ng corporations, no? And then, kung halimbawa wala pang operations, iba't ibang klaseng corporation yan, wala pang operations, file ng information return, and then later on, pag may nangangailan, ibenta na nila. No? Just like yung mga brand, develop ng brand. Ano ba yung brand na sisikat? And then, ibenta mo yan sa manufacturer. No? Those are brand development na pwede rin gawin. Mag-invest ka nga lang, and then, pasiksikatin mo yung brand, saka mo ibenta. No? So, in this case, yung Veritas US, meron siya mga inacquire na companies or nag-establish din siya ng foreign subsidiaries niya. Okay. So, on April 25, 1997, Veritas US acquired and merged with Open Vision Technologies, Inc. No? So, yung Open Vision, na-acquire niya. With acquisition of Open Vision, Veritas US obtained Net Backup. No? So, itong Net Backup is another company. Okay. With the acquisition of Open Vision, Veritas US obtained Net Backup. Offices in the United Kingdom, Germany, and France, an engineering team, and skilled sales and marketing executives. No? Kasi bakit kailangan skills ang sales and marketing executives mo para may mangyari doon sa product mo. Otherwise, kung hindi marunong magbenta yung mga personnel mo, tutulog yung product mo. So by the end of 1997, Veritas US had sales subsidiaries in Canada, Japan, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Sweden, and the Netherlands. No? So, nagkaroon na siya ng sales subsidiaries. Veritas US on May 28, 1999 acquired Seagate Software Network and Storage Management Group, Inc. As a result of this acquisition, Veritas US became the largest software company in the industry and obtained Backup Exec, a distribution channel in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, and a sales force that sold Backup Exec to customers in Europe. So in July 2, 2005, Veritas US was purchased by Symantec Corporation, Symantec, and became one of Symantec wholly owned subsidiaries. No? So naging subsidiaries na lang kasi binili siya eh. References to petitioner are to Veritas US. Its subsidiaries and Symantec are the successor in interest to Veritas US and subsidiaries. No? So, instead na siya yung parent company, binili na siya ni Symantec, nagiging subsidiary siya. No? Okay. Let's go to the function ng Veritas US. Yung storage management software products. No? So, all computer operating system have backup and restore capabilities. Actually, yun ang hinahanap nung bumibili talaga ng operating system, no? Kailangan may backup yan, no? And then, may restore capabilities na halimbawa na brown out, namatay yung computer, na-restore niya, no? Kaya karamihan ngayon, hindi na mawala yung file mo kung biglang brown out, pagbukas mo ng computer mo, nandyan pa siya, no? So, dati wala eh. Pagka brown out, namatay yung computer mo, pag hindi ulit, wala na, no? Ulit ka ng ginagawa mo. So, ngayon, meron na, may restore capabilities na ang computer. Storage management software replaces the portion of a computer's operating system that organizes files and manages data storage devices, no? So, yun yung software management software niya. Stored data is preserved and protected against loss of corruption by the use of backup application that copy on secondary storage, no? The data, its organizational structure, and its ownership information. No? Kaya ang ganda kasi go-organize na siya kagad and then ano siya, si-save, no? Nag-store ng data. No? Storage devices may be attached directly to a computer or accessed through a network or server. So, yun yung secondary storage or devices na nire-requires doon sa mga computerized accounting system na dapat meron silang backup, no? Backup is simply making copy and moving it to a safe location. Yun ang backup. Kasi ang ibig sabihin dyan, i-move mo to a safe location so that kahit na may mangyari na hindi maganda dito sa files mo, meron ka pa ring backup files, no? Hindi mawawala yung information mo. Restore takes the copy from the safe location and makes it available to the end user. So, this is another feature ng software, no? Nire-restore niya and then take a copy from the safe location and make it available to the end user. Okay. Shout out, Hari.
Wala pa pong shoutout.
Ilan na yung viewers natin?
6 viewers po.
Okay. Nag-chat ka na kina Banji.
Ako na.
Okay. So, prior to 1999, only one application could access a data file at any given time. Thus, to back up data on secondary storage, it was first necessary to shut down all applications using the data. No, so ito yung mga nauna pa. 1999, hindi pa masyadong advanced ang mga computer dyan eh. No, although late 1990s, ang BIR, no, the Bureau of Internal Revenue is already computerized. Pero hindi pa siya fully computerized at that time. ilang mga district lang yung computerized, no? Kaya itong 1999 and prior, hindi pa masyadong ganun ka-advance ang computer dito, no? Okay. Kita mo, sinabi dito sa Veritas US na to, that the secondary storage, kung meron ka, kailangan mo pang i-shutdown lahat ng application using the data. No? Most secondary storage was on magnetic tape and directly attached to a single server. After the CSA, or the cost-sharing arrangement, these were important technological advances relating to the data storage software industry. Kasi anong ginawa dito ng cost-sharing arrangement na to? Nag-research and development sila para i-improve pa itong software ni Veritas US. No? So there were important technological advances relating to the data storage software industry. In response to 24-hour website, backup technology advanced significantly, no? Enabling backups to run at any time. In addition, exponential increases in file size and data volume and the plummeting cost of disk storage spurred the use of this as secondary storage. No? The switch to disk as the primary backup medium required the source code of backup product to be yun yung mga backup products, no, na gagamitin mo yung software. Okay. Rewritten yung data. The advent of storage area networks allowed storage to be shared by numerous computers. No? So, pwede pa siyang i-share ng iba't ibang computer. Allowed more than one server to access a particular piece of data and enabled applications to run continuously without interruption. No? Other technological advances dramatically increased storage capacity and also facilitated disaster recovery by allowing storage resources to be replicated several times in different data centers. Kaya yung mga big companies, hindi lang isa yung kanilang backup, hanggang 5. No? May disaster recovery sila situated in different parts of the world. No? So, these advances reduced the cost of physical storage and made it possible for many systems to share storage devices. No? Source code is the human readable statement used to write computer program and is commonly organized into files which are composed of individual lines of code. Complex software, such as storage management software, often require thousands of source code files and hundreds of thousands or millions of lines of code. No? So, yan yung software ni Veritas. During the years in issue, Veritas US had one primary commercial product. Oh, primary. So, ibig sabihin yun yung the best niya na product. And the best in terms of sales, in terms of production, in terms of performance. No? So, a product with a low price point and high volume sales. No? Kasi siya yung pinaka-sellable. No? Ito yung backup exec. Yeah. And 5 primary enterprise products. Ito yung products with a high price point and low volume sales. Ito yung net backup, volume manager, file system, cluster server, and foundation suite. No? So, ito yung mga mas sellable niya na product. Backup exec, which was targeted to small businesses. No? Kasi hindi mo rin underestimate yung mga small businesses because sa dami ng small businesses, malaki yung market. No? So, ano tong backup? Was a data management product that provided backup. No? Nagma-backup siya, nag-archive, and restore capability for a network, server, and workstations. Actually, ang pinaka-importante dito, di ba yung una, i-store mo muna. Yung sunod, pagkailangan mo na, anong gagawin mo? I-restore niya, no? Yun ang ginagawa ng system. Nagba-backup na siya, tapos pag na-archive na, pwede mo siyang i-restore. No? The same function na gagawa ng software. Net Backup Volume Manager, File System, Cluster Server, and Foundation Suite were purchased by businesses with large, sophisticated information technology system. No? Net Backup provided backup, archive, and restore capabilities for server and workstations using complex Unix. To, naintindihan mo to, Hari?
Type na operating system yan, yung mga
Itong Unix.
Windows, Linux, NetWare, mga operating system.
So, pare-pareho yan sila.
Ako. Pero ang mostly na ginagamit talaga yung Windows.
Sa ano. Itong Windows, di ba Microsoft?
Microsoft siya.
Okay. So, competitor siya ng Veritas. No? Okay. Pero hindi eh. Kasi yung net backup, nag-archive siya, restore capability siya, software siya, using Windows, no? So, hindi pala siya, nagtatrabaho siya hand in hand with Windows.
Parang software siya na ini-install sa Windows.
Yes. Okay, no? So, volume manager allowed an administrator to manage volumes, no? Physical disk or hard drives that store data, and also provided online disk storage management. File system was a journaling system that provided a directory index, no, of files, and made it easier to find and access files and data. Yun ang pinaka-importante mo, is sa dami ng data, sa dami ng information, ang hirap maghanap, no? So, file system also enabled fast system recovery from operating system failure or disruption. Kasi pagka nawala yung ano mo, yung ilaw mo, patay yung computer, no? So, makaka-recover ka agad yung computer. Cluster server allowed multiple servers to be grouped together as a cluster, and if one server failed, another server was automatically activated to perform the functions of the failed server. Talking about yung Smart Tips by Mami ELSA, alam nyo, kung nag-iisip tayo sa buhay natin, kung ano yung ginagawa nitong software na to na backup, dapat meron tayong ganyan sa buhay natin eh. Bakit? Kasi doon sa inaral natin doon na time management, no, i-relate ko lang itong mga product na to ng Veritas sa personal life natin. Dapat ina-apply din natin yung backup. Why? Kasi di ba, minsan may disaster, may mga nangyayari sa buhay natin. Do we have backup? Bakit? Kasi kung may nangyari na ganun, dapat makaka-recover tayo kaagad. Just like yung ginagawa nila, nagre-research and development sila to improve the product. Tayo dapat ganun din as we go along, as we age, dami nating mga experiences, dapat kinukumpile din natin yan. Kung sa ano, ina-archive din natin yan, yung mga lessons learned in life natin, so that pag nandyan na ulit, kailangan mo nang gamitin, magde-decision ka, then you can use those information. Oh? Kaya sabi ko, itong backup na ito sa computer lang ito pinag-aaralan. Sa personal life natin, dapat meron din tayong ganyang backup. Kaso lang, wala naman tayong software na mabibili na i-apply natin sa buhay natin. So ano yun? Yung software natin na nandito, no, sa utak natin, yun ang gagana. Para at least, ano man mangyari sa atin, may disaster na mangyari sa buhay natin, may backup tayo. No? Built-in yan dito sa head natin. No? Kaya nung dapat, yung utak din natin, dapat i-invest din tayo. Hindi mo na kayang dagdagan yan, no? Hindi mo na pwedeng i-increase yung capacity niyan kasi very powerful na yung brain, no? So, hindi ka na kailangan mag-research and development. Ano na lang, isip-isip ka na lang papaano. Anong gagawin mo pagka may disaster na nangyari sa buhay mo. No? Okay, so anong ginawa dito? Anong ginagawa ng software na to? No? Cluster server, ito yung cluster server, allowed multiple servers to be grouped together as cluster. If one server failed, yan na yung mga anticipation, mga conservative na ginagawa. Kasi Minsan, may mag-fail, no? Halimbawa, mawalan tayo ng trabaho, failure. Ano yung kaagad yung gagawin mo? No? If one server failed, another server was automatically activated. No? Meron mo nagawa yan ng research and development ng Veritas. Another server was automatically activated to perform the functions of the failed software. No? So, ganun din sana sa buhay natin. No? Pag nag-fail na yung isa, meron tayo kaagad na backup. No? So, yan ang trabaho ng cluster server. Ano naman itong volume manager? Volume manager had cluster server functionality by 1999 and file system had such functionality by 2000. No? So, iba-ibang software kasi ito eh. May cluster server, may volume manager, no? Mayroong file system. Okay. Foundation Suite, this is another product. Combine volume manager and file system to develop a complete solution for online disk and file management functions. The consolidated product facilitated quicker and more efficient data transmission. No? So ito yung mga importante, no? Ito na yung ito na yung resulta ng produkto mo. Anong ginawa niya? Quicker, mabilis, and more efficient data transmission, storage and backup, no? So Foundation Suite was also sold in a high availability version. This version combined Foundation Suite and cluster server and ensured continuous and uninterrupted operation in the event of system failure. No? So, ito yung isang case natin sa transfer pricing analysis report, Hari, na yung product niya na minamanufacture niya, ginagawa din na raw materials ng ibang manufacturing company. No? Parang ganito din sa Veritas. Kasi yung ginagawa nila dito na mga software na to, backup lang to ng computer. So kung walang computer, hindi ito kailangan. No? Kasi backup lang siya, hindi siya yung main product. No? But very important. Many of Veritas US products were deemed sticky. Why sticky? Because after employing them, it was difficult, costly, and time-consuming for the user to change to a competing product. No? So, kasi pagka sticky, ibig sabihin nakastick siya talaga sa Veritas. Why? Kasi, pag the more ka daw na gamit mo na, hirap ka na mag-switch into other products. No? Kaya nakastickan lang talaga sa product ng Veritas. These products communicated with uncontrolled parts of the computer and its attached devices without support from standard application program interface or yung API, no? Ito yung mga middleware or device drivers. Consequently, the software code in these products included code inextricably tied to the most basic part of an operating system. No? So, naka-tied siya sa operating system. In 1999, Veritas US software products could run on systems and applications manufactured by Sun Microsystem Inc. Ito na yung time na yung tinatawag nila na compatibility of product. No? So, nagkaroon ng agreement yung mga product manufacturer na yung kanilang product hindi lang exclusive sa kanila. No? Pagdating na sa mga parts, pwede siyang gumamit ng iba. Kaya anong nangyari dito? Yung Veritas software, meron na siyang application na pwede na siyang gamitin ng Sun Microsystem Inc. No, or the Sun. Pwede din siyang gamitin ng Hewlett-Packard Company, Microsoft Corporation. So, if you try to look at this mga mga companies na may mga sinasabi sa computer. So, since sila na yung product, no, na magra-run din yung product ng Veritas. So, these are very big companies na potential, no, na kahit yun ang gamitin mo, halimbawa, Sun, gagamit ka pa rin ng Veritas US na mga product, no? So, Microsoft Corporation, International Business Machines Corporation, or the IBM, Red Hat Inc., Apple Inc., Novel Inc., Oracle Corporation. So, itong Oracle, malaki din to. SAP AG, no? Yung software din po to. Sybase Inc. and VMware Inc. So, after the CSA or the sharing arrangement, no, Veritas US released numerous version of its aforementioned products, no. So nag-release na siya ng mga version ng products niya. Each version contains new features. Yun na yun. Bakit? Kasi anong purpose ng cost-sharing arrangement nila? Para mag-develop ng product. So, anong nangyayari? Yung version niya, merong bagong version halos every month, no? So, each version contain new features. So, mga bagong features para na-enhance yung characteristic ng product, no? So, these are strategies actually. When new features were added to a product, the source code relating to these features was either added to existing files or placed in newly created files. While no one feature modification significantly altered the essential elements of the code, the cumulative effect of modifying hundreds of features typically resulted in significant code changes. Siyempre, pag may binago ka sa product, ang daming kasama noon na nababago. No? API, Automatic Program Interfaces. API, which provides software vendors with access to the operating system features, allow an application written for one type of operating system to run on a different type of operating system. So, sino yung nakakaalam niyan, Hari? Na i-allow mo daw yung different type ng operating system into the one type of operating system. So, capable yung computer dyan na iba-ibang software ang install mo.
Depende sa operating system, ma'am, kung compatible siya sa software.
Sinabi na nga na compatible siya dito eh. The software products could run on system and applications manufactured by Sun Microsystem, by Hewlett-Packard, by Microsoft, by International Business Machine, by Red Hat, by Apple, by Novell, Oracle. So, ibig sabihin, yun yung mga software din na itong Veritas US na software can run with, no? So, compatible sila. Okay. Product distribution channels, no? A product path to market is often referred to as distribution channel, no? So in 1999, Veritas US sold its product directly to customers. Noong 1999 yun. Ano yung year in issue natin dito? 99, 2000, and 2001. No? So in 1999, Veritas US sold its product directly to customers and through original equipment manufacturers. Sino tong original equipment manufacturers? Ito yung mga taxpayers or mga business owners na meron silang mga manufacturers sila, no? Kaya tawag sa kanila OEM. Distributors and resellers, no? From 1997 to 2006, Veritas US entered into OEM's agreement with several entities including Sun, HP, Dell Products, LP, Dell, Compaq Computer Corporation, Ericsson Radio System, AB, Ericsson, Hitachi Limited, INEC Corp. Alam niyo itong INEC Corp, nakapunta ako dito sa yung corporate headquarters nila sa Japan. Ako, malulula ka. Kaganda ng building nila, na-imagine ko pa. Pwede diyan ka sa labas, pag sa taas ng building, para katiningnan mo yung building niya pataas para mababali yung liig mo pag tumingin ka sa taas, no? Itong INEC Corp. Hindi lang yun. Yun yung ma-amaze ka kasi ang ganda ng building. Ma-amaze ka so titingnan mo. Lalo ka ma-amaze pagka yung mata mo inano mo sa baba, no? Sa baba ka tumingin. Bakit? Nandun nakaparada yung mga top of the line na mga services ng mga executives nila, no? Kita mo yung mga Volvo, ang gaganda ng mga sasakyan. Talagang sila talaga yung mga REITs, no? Why? Kasi they are able to develop yung mga sophisticated na products that really brought them money, no? So yun yung mga mayayaman, no? Ito yung in-easy. Ano din sila sa computer din. Microsoft, in CR Corp, Simon Nexdorf Information System, AG, no? Veritas US. So, provided the OEMs, ito yung original equipment manufacturer. So, ibig sabihin, compatible ang product mo doon sa mga original equipment na mina-manufacture nila. No? So, kasi alam mo, pag may ano ka, ang dami kong natutunan doon sa isang client ko Pag may product ka pala, dapat alamin mo talaga if you are a good marketer. Napakagaling po niyang mag-market, no? Para siguro sabi ko gifted talaga siya. Kasi ang dami niya kaagad nakikita yung mga streams ng ano yung dapat gawin just to market, no? Alam niya, marami siyang mga gimmick na naisip kaagad, parang flow of ideas lang sa mind niya. Kaya sabi ko, gifted tong tao na to. So, anong ginawa ng Veritas dito? Nag-develop siya ng product na compatible dito sa mga original equipment na nandyan na. And then, kasundo siya dito sa mga manufacturers na to, no? So, kasi parang ito yung tulay, para ito yung hagdan para yung product mo mabenta, no? So, with the product and the OEM sold the products either bundled with their operating systems or unbundled as an option, no? So, bundled products were installed with and sold as part of the operating system. Imagine, part na siya ng operating system. Kasi, pag bumili ka ng hardware, parang mga antivirus din, kailan mong bumili din ng ganyang product, sabay. So, while unbundled products were sold as separate products for customers to install, yun yung mga ini-install mo pa na binibili mo separately. No? So, during the term of the license, OEMs generally receive the current version of the product plus upgrades, and new version. No? After selling Veritas US bundled products, the OEMs often provided technical engineering and maintenance support. No? So, dito nakipag-collaborate siya sa mga OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, para dun sa product niya. The OEM's willingness to sell and support the bundled products was a tacit affirmation of the product's reliability and quality. Kasi hindi ka rin makakakuha ng collaboration with other manufacturers kung hindi the best ang product mo. So in this case, yung product ng Veritas US is reliable and of good quality. No? So, Veritas US benefited from this arrangement because the OEMs had better name, recognition, and more customers. Kasi existing na sila sa market no? Nagmamanufacture na sila ng mga sellable din na product. So, negotiate sa kanila itong Veritas US. So, malaki ang nagiging effect noon sa Veritas. And in fact, if we read further, ang Veritas naging number 1 po in the world, no? Sa product niya. But of course, alam niyo na nobody can stay on the top forever. And pag nandiyan ka na daw sa top, the only next thing that will happen to you is you go down, no? Kasi wala ka na, you have nowhere to go pag nasa top ka na Nowhere to go except down, no? Going down. So, ganun ang mga nangyayari. Yun yung cycle of life, no? Pag nasa tuktok ka na, anong mangyayari? Bababa ka, no? Cycle yan, no? So, from November 1999, kaya yung iba, trying hard to maintain their top position, no? Ano yung trying hard to maintain? Lahat ginagawa just to maintain their top position. Ano yung mga binabantayan nila? The competitors, the new entrants in the market, threat to substitutes of their products, lahat yan na ma-manage nila. And they are making strategies to maintain their products. So from November 1999 to 2006, OEM licenses paid Veritas US 1.327 billion in royalties. You can, ano? Grabe, di ba? 1.327 billion dollars pa yan in royalties. Ibig sabihin talagang maganda yung product niya. The calculation of royalties was based on list price, revenues, or profits, and the products were often sold at a discount of list price. Kasi in this case, nakaka-volume sale ka na eh. Pero mo, nakabenta ka ng 1.3 billion. How much lang yung cost mo ng research and development doon, no? And then license mo lang kasi sa kanila yung product. Sila na yung nagmamanufacture. They're just paying you the royalties. Veritas US generally receive a one-time license fee. No, imagine that. From upon entering into the agreement, an additional license fees each time the OEM sold Veritas US product bundled with an operating system. Imagine. Kaya yun din ang ginagawa ng mga uh, sikat na halimbawa ng mga brand sa pagkain. Magpa-franchise ka sa kanila, magbabayad ka one time. And then, meron pang royalty payment monthly based on sales. No? Ganito din yung ginawa ng Veritas. Merong one-time payment sa kanila, and then meron pang royalty payment based on sales. No? Okay. The royalty rates relating to Veritas US OEM licenses range from 10 to 40% for bundled products and 5 to 48% for unbundled products. Ano yung bundled products? Kasama na doon sa di ba, computer, na doon na, naka-built-in na siya doon. Ito na mga unbundled, bilhin mo separately and then i-install mo. No? So, profit potential and sales volume were important factors in determining royalty rates. Siyempre, no, yung profit potential, pabahaya ka ba na yung royalty rates mo, bayaran lang ng ganitong percentage kung mataas yung profit potential. Siyempre, pag mataas yung profit potential, mas mataas din yung royalty rates. Veritas US could not accurately predict the amount of its license revenue receipts attributable to OEM agreements because Veritas US had no control over delivery dates or the number of Veritas US products sold with OEM operating systems. Ano lang to, kung baga sa ano, natural lang yan sa pagbibenta ng product. Hindi mo talaga ma-predict yung amount kasi you are playing in the market eh. So hindi mo hawak kung magkano yung mabenta mo. Depende na yan sa actual na result, no? So this uncertainty led Veritas US to explore other paths to market, no? So may distributors, may resellers, and may direct sales for its products, no? So nag-expand siya ng marketing. Okay, so from 1999 to 2006, Veritas US itong Sun, no? Veritas US largest and most significant OEM partner paid Veritas US 657.4 million in royalties, no? So ang Sun. During this period, Veritas US also received 292.9 million from HP, yung Hewlett-Packard, no? 181.6 million from Dell, puro mga computer, 23.9 million from Hitachi, 7.9 million from NEC, and 780,000 from Compaq, no? In addition, from 200 to 2008, Veritas US received 23.9 million in royalties from Ericsson. So, itong mga sinasabi natin, mga famous din to na brand sa computer, no? Sa hardware. Veritas US sold backup exec through distributors and resellers. This is another software. No? Ito yung backup exec. Yung kanina, anong software yun? Bundled products yun sa mga original equipment manufacturers. No? Okay. So ito, backup exec. No? Paano niya ito na binibenta? Through the distributors and resellers. The distributors sold backup exec to resellers and the resellers sold it to customers. No? Veritas US sold net backup. Itong isa backup exec, yung isa net backup. Volume manager, so another software. File system, cluster server, and foundation suite directly to customers and through resellers. No? So yun na naman yung way niya of marketing its product. Between 1997 and 2005, Veritas US entered into reseller agreement with operating system hardware and database vendors including Compaq, Hitachi, Fujitsu, Ericsson, Dell, HP, NCR, Ball SA, and EMC Corp, no? AMC. The royalty rates relating to the reseller agreements range between 32.5 and 70%, no? Imagine ganyan kalaki yung royalty rates mo, yung bayad mo. Intensely competitive market. So, ang market ng product ng Veritas US is competitive. Bakit? Meron siyang mga competitors na nagde-develop din ng ganyang product, no? And they want Veritas US to be masurpass pa nila yung nagagawa ng Veritas US. So prior to the CSA contribution sharing agreement, no? Product competed intensely with products manufactured by numerous companies. So, ibig sabihin yung product, grabe yung competition niya sa market, no? ERC served a backup product manufactured by Computer Associates. Was backup X6 major competitor, no? Kasi pagka ikaw naman ay product developer at saka manufacturer, you produce your product, dapat alam mo din kung sino yung competitor mo. So, in the case ng yung sellable niya na backup X6, sino yung kanyang competitor? Si ARC Serve, no? Sino naman na gumagawa ng ARC Serve? Si Computer Associates. No? Net Backup's primary competitor included IBM's Tivoli Storage Manager. No? Ito naman yung competitor niya dito sa isang software niya, yung Net Backups. No? Si IBM naman. EMC Legato Networker, HP Omni Backup, Data Protector, and Commvault Galaxy. Yan ang mga competitor ni Net Backup. No? So, Foundation Suite's primary competitors were products manufactured by operating system, hardware, and database vendors, Sun, EMC, and Oracle. So, dapat, sa bagay, alam na natin yung mga competitors nung nagpapagawa sa atin ng Hari. Yung mga competitors nung mga nagpapagawa sa atin ng transfer pricing analysis. Why? Kasi kailan i-disclose natin sa study kung sino yung competitors nila. Kasi papakita mo dyan yung standing niya sa market yung market share no? So kailan alam mo kung sino yung mga competitors. So Veritas US products competed with both comparable and free alternatives. The free alternatives included storage management products readily accessible on the internet and those bundled with operating systems, no? So accessible sila sa internet. Vendors sometimes incorporated storage management capabilities into their operating system. So, nandun na sa operating system, kasama na nung binili mo. Some customers preferred operating systems with built-in storage management software, no? Integrated stacks. These stacks were less expensive and easier to deploy because purchasers were not required to acquire or install costly individual components. Nandun na, naka-built-in na. Veritas US continuously sought to offer products that were faster and more efficient than comparable products or free alternatives. No? Ito yung free alternatives na naka-built-in na sa product. The performance advantages of Veritas US products over free products decreased. However, as competitor improved their products functionality. No? Siyempre, kung yung sa iyo may bayad, doon na sila sa libre. Di ba? The operating system, the application it supports, and the software it uses to manage devices attached to the computer are referred to as stack. No? So, yun yung mga operating system. Attached na sa computer. No? Naka-stack sa computer. Between 1996 and 2006, the primary competition for Veritas US products was products sold by operating system, hardware, and database vendors such as Sun and Oracle. No? Sun and Oracle had a similar objective. Anong objective ng Sun at saka Oracle? Kasi sila yung mga competitor ng Veritas. remove Veritas US from the respective stocks and provide the respective customers with viable alternatives to Veritas US products. So, tanggalin nila yung spare part ng Veritas US dun sa computer, no? So, kasi sila yung nagmamanufacture ng computer eh. So, ayaw na nilang gamitin yung Veritas US na product na nakakabit dun sa kanilang computer. Sun, an operating system manufacturer and distributor, was one of Veritas US main OEM contractors and competitors. No? The relationship between Veritas US and Sun evolved from a mutually beneficial partnership in 1997 to mutual tolerance in 1999. And ultimately to outright competition in 2006. So, noong una, magkasama pa sila. Tapos yung susunod, medyo hindi na susunod, competitor na sila. No? Sun was committed to capturing the funds that its customers were spending on Veritas US product. So, gustong i-capture ng Sun yung sales ng Veritas doon sa mga product niya. Sun upgraded its operating system in an attempt to replicate the functionalities of Veritas US. No? So, anong ginawa niya? Siyempre, in-improve niya yung kanyang operating system. At ano yun? Yung functionality, yung nagagawa ng software ng Veritas, sinama na niya doon sa kanyang product. No? So, Veritas US products and achieved this goal by adding to its operating system a supplanting product that was provided to customers at no cost. No? Nilibre lang niya doon sa mga customer niya kasi sa kanya naman yung package na item. No? Pati hardware. From 2000 through 2006, Sun released a series of operating systems that included software products that offered progressively more functionality. This product took market share from Veritas US and closed the technology gap between Sun and Veritas US. Imagine na abutan pa niya yung Veritas US, itong Sun. Pero dito sa atin, may Sun pa ba, Hari? No? Nabili na siya. Ganun lang yun eh. Kung ikaw ay competitor, para hindi ka na makapag-compete, bilhin ka. No? Okay. So, wala na. Kaya pala, dati may mga Sun pa. Ngayon, Smart and Globe na lang. Okay. Oracle, a software manufacturer known for its database and applications, was as aggressive as Sun in competing with Veritas US. So, lahat ng mga nagmamanufacture ng nasa technology, no? Nakikipag-compete lahat kay Veritas. Oracle offered software to directly and successfully compete with file system. File system, ito yung software ng Veritas US. Volume Manager and Cluster Server, no? Yan yung competitor nila yung Oracle. So, in an attempt to maximize revenues and customer loyalty, Oracle embarked on a strategy to build a complete stack and compete not just with Veritas US but also with operating system vendors. Kasi pagka ganito yung negosyo mo, hindi lang isa yung competitor mo, marami. Oracle started with basic level technology and continued to innovate until it developed products similar and ultimately equal to Veritas US products. O biro mo, alam niyo, pagka nag-attempt ka talaga, makakamtan mo eh. Bakit? Nung ginawa dito ng Oracle, siyempre, nung umpisa, nakipag-partner muna siya kay Veritas. Yung sunod, nag-develop na siya ng product. No? Yung susunod, na sasabayan na niya o kaya equal na siya sa Veritas US. No? Okay. Product life cycles and useful lives. In the rapidly changing storage software industry, products with a state-of-the-art function lost value quickly as that functionality was duplicated by competitors or supplanted by new technology. Even with substantial ongoing research and development, R&D Veritas US products had finite life cycles, intense competition from OEMs offering comparable products, and the rapid pace of technological advances forced Veritas US to innovate constantly. So ano yung major expense ng mga companies research and development. Why? Para hindi ka mahabol kung nasaan na yung standing mo, you have to innovate constantly. Why? Ito yung sinasabi ko na compare na lang natin as a speaker. Kasi yung iba, ay wala na makinig sa iyo pagka binigay mo na lahat. O kaya yung iba, ayaw mag-share ng knowledge. Bakit? Kasi matitreated sila pagka yung iba mas marunong na sa kanila. No? Para sa akin, hindi Bakit? Kasi kung ano yung in-impart ko na knowledge ngayon, bukas may iba na akong knowledge. So, bakit ako matitreated, no? Kasi anong gagawin mo para you will never be out of competition? Constant yan, tuloy-tuloy yan, ni-improve yung sarili mo. Kailan ka ma-out in the race? Once you stop, no? Hindi ka na nakikipag-compete, no? Kaya ngayon na iniisip ko, uwi ako sa probinsya, mag-iba ako na paano yung profession ko, paano yung career ko, no? So, kasi pagka hindi ka na nakipag-compete, that's the time na you will be out. Pero kung at the time na nandiyan ka pa sa competition, constant yung pag-i-improve mo, you will never be out of the competition. Nandiyan ka pa rin at nakaka-perform ka pa rin. No? Ngayon yung as a person, yun yung goal ko, yun yung objective ko. No matter what your age is, retired ka na, tanda ka na, kung constantly nag-a-upgrade ka pa rin, kung dito pa sa term ng Veritas, nagre-research and development ka pa rin, i-improve ka pa rin ang sarili mo, you are still in a competition, you are still in, no? So hindi ka ma-outmoded na wala ka ng demand, no? Bakit? Kasi nag-a-upgrade ka pa rin Okay, so ano yung next move natin dito para tuloy tayo na nakikipag-compete pa rin, no? So, ang next move namin talaga is to improve our online facilities. Kaya hari yung ating training, hindi natin pwede talaga na hindi tayo maglagay ng platform, no? We really have to pay for the platform para maganda yung ating mga seminars. Hindi na tayo pwede na doon lang sa yung ginagawa natin na current. Dapat may platform talaga tayong maganda. And then, hindi lang yun. Itong PSTRI, ipa-accredit na rin natin yan sa PRC. Kasi hindi pwede na ako lang, na personal ko lang no? Iba pa rin yung corporate. No? And then, yung as practitioner is accredited, kailan may partner ka. That's why I have to look at na partner para sa CPA practice. Kasi hindi ka na-accredit ng CPA na nag-iisa ka lang, kailangan partnership. No? By the time a new product model became available for purchase, the next generation was already in development. Tingnan mo kung nasa competition ka, talaga hindi ka natutulog. Why? Anong sabi dito? Anong ginawa ng Veritas? Kasi alam niya na highly competitive yung pinasukan niya. So, forced Veritas US to innovate constantly. So, constant way of life. So, kung talagang player ka, ang competition is your way of life. So, ano yun? Every day you innovate. Every day nag-i-improve ka. Bakit? Kasi nasa competition ka, maiiwan ka pag hindi ka nag-improve, no? So, every day you innovate. So, anong ginawa ng Veritas dito? They innovate constantly. So, by the time a new product model became available for purchase, the next generation was already in development, no? So, ano yun? Bagong labas pa lang ng product model niya, available pa lang sa market, bago na. Yung next niya, nandyan na, under development na naman. So, anytime meron na naman siyang bagong product. No? Ganyan pagka competitive player ka. At the time of the CSA, Veritas US, sino yung naiiwanan sa competition? Yung walang ginagawa, yung wala lang. No? So, maiiwan ka talaga. At the time of the CSA, cost-sharing arrangement, Veritas US products on average had a useful life of 4 years. No? So, since marami na siya na-develop ng mga software, based on their experience, ilang years yung useful life ng na-develop nila? 4 years, no? 4 years. In 2000, tingnan nyo itong experience na to nila, ito yung isang issue na nanalo sa Veritas doon sa contention ng ah, US IRS or the commissioner. Bakit? Dito sila natalo yung commissioner. Bakit? Kasi binalyo nila yung intangibles ng Veritas ng perpetuity. Ano yun? Hindi bumababa yung value. Based sa useful life ng Veritas, very competitive yung kanyang market. 4 years lang ang useful life. Ikaw, i-value mo ng perpetuity. The Veritas were able to prove, kasi based on experience, na yung mga nade-develop niya, may useful life lang na 4 years. No? So, 4 years mo na siya pakikinabangan. Bakit? Kasi may bago na ma-develop, maiiwan na yung na-develop mo. No? Pero anong ginawa ng US Commissioner, IRS? Binalyo niya in perpetuity. So, doon siya natalo. Kaya, binalyo na yan ng 2.5 billion tapos ginawa na niya na 1.6 billion. No? So, bakit? Magkano lang yung value ng intangibles ng Veritas? 166 million. Kasi, ito yung nagpanalo sa kanila ng useful life lang ng average ng product nila. And you can prove it. Kaya nga sabi ko, factual ang transfer pricing case. No? Hindi mo pwedeng estimate. Yung sa IRS, estimate lang nila yun na forever ang value ng intangibles. Based on the actual life is 4 years lang. No? So in 2001, Veritas US Board of Directors realized that Veritas US primary products were approaching the end of their life cycles. Parang kinakabahan na sila tapos na yung buhay ng Veritas US, no? And that the product pipeline was not capable of sustaining business growth, no? Parang hindi na siya mag-grow, no? So in 2002 and 2003, the Board of Directors recognized that revenues relating to backup exec, yun pa na yung pinaka-syllable nila, and net backup had ceased to grow, no? Hindi na nag-grow. And that the revenues relating to volume manager and file system were declining. Kasi yung mga competitors nila, yung kanilang mga product partners na doon sila nagma-market, nag-manufacture na yung sarili nila. So, hindi na nila kailangang bumili. No? Net backup useful life came to an end in 2005 when a major overhaul was performed. No? So, even as the products approached the end of their useful lives, they did not lose all of their value. No? Pero ang experience naman nila na kahit na end na ng useful life daw, meron pa ring value. No? So, Veritas US typically updated its product, but on occasion, an OEM would pay Veritas US to build a custom item that would not be further developed. So, in these instances, the related OEM agreement contained a royalty degradation or technology agent discount provision to account for obsolescence and decay. No? Kahit anong product pa, nagiging obsolete din, no? And then nagpiperish. No? See, that's life, eh? That's normal. No? Some agreements provided for the royalties to be decreased at a steady rate, while others required royalty rate reductions that increased during the term of the agreement. Marunong na sila because experience na nila, no? Na talagang ang product may life cycle. Generally, the agreement did not provide a royalty rate reduction of more than 75% over a 4-year period. No? Kasi ang sabi nila, yung kanilang life cycle, 4 years lang. Geographic expansion, no? Itong ano naman to, iba naman. No? Nakailang oras na tayo, Hari, walang shoutout?
Wala pa po. Ano na po, 1 hour 15 minutes.
Ilan yung viewers natin?
6 po.
Okay. So, itong sabi na natin, itong Veritas US na case, matagal na. Bakit? Ano pa siya 2010 decided, no? So, 11 years ago. But, titingnan natin kasi, dito makita mo yung paano nag-strategize. Alam nyo yung one thing that I like in transfer pricing, yung mga strategies employed by the taxpayers. Talagang pinag-isipan, talagang marurunong. Kaya, dito pa lang sa introduction, makikita mo na yung mga ano yung mga ginagawang strategies ng mga companies in order to survive, in order to expand, in order to maintain their position, no, sa market. Kasi magkakaroon ka ng ideas. Okay. So, geographic expansion. Prior to 2000, Veritas US had limited presence in EMEA. Ano yung EMEA? Ito yung Africa, East, ano to? And then the Middle East, no? And then the Asia, and the Asia Pacific, and Japan. Japan, no? Asia Pacific and Japan, APG. While Veritas US had sales and service offices, no? And resellers in North America, Europe, all over the world siya eh. Europe, Asia Pacific, South America, and there was a time na number 1 siya in the world, no? And the Middle East, it had no manufacturing operation in those countries and only small sales subsidiaries in the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Sweden, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Japan, and Australia. So in 1999, Veritas US international sales force, excluding Canadian employees, consisted of 287 employees, 237 in Europe, 27 in Asia Pacific. Kaya kakaunti lang eh, all over the world siya, pero tingnan nyo yung number of employees niya. No? 27 in Asia Pacific and 23 in Japan. Veritas US had a total of 33 international marketing employees, 28 in Europe, 4 in Japan, and 1 in Asia Pacific. No? So you can just imagine that. In the EMEA storage management software market, in what Veritas US sold, Foundation Suite, Net Backup, and Backup Exec, Veritas US market shares in 98 and 1999 were 8.9% and 13.2% respectively noong 1998 and 1999 yan. Computer Associates, ARC Serve. Si Computer Associates, another manufacturer din po ito. Kanya yung ARC Serve. No? Backup X6 primary competition, yun ang number 1 kalaban ng Backup X6 na software ng Veritas. Dominated the EMEA market, holding more than 50% of the United Kingdom market and more than 60% of the French, Italian, and Spanish market. So, itong Backup Exec niya, ito yung sellable din ng Veritas, talo siya ng ARC Serve, no? Kasi bakit? 60% ang market nasa ARC Serve. Okay. In 1999, the EMEA and APG territories accounted for 92%, no? So, diyan malaki yung sales ng Veritas. Of Veritas US international revenues and 22% of Veritas US total revenues, no? EMEA revenue totaled 110 million and APG revenues was de minimis, no? Veritas US management recognized that geographic expansion in EMEA and APG presented an opportunity to increase sales. No? So after evaluating the cost of labor, employment laws, quality of works, and tax considerations, Veritas US management decided to headquarter its EMEA and APG operations in Ireland. So dito na nangyari. Bakit? Kasi yung US, Veritas US, nilipat na sa Veritas Ireland yung kanyang mga intangibles. No? The cost-sharing arrangement, no? So, yung kanina geographic expansion, ngayon naman the cost-sharing arrangement. So, what happened? In January 1999, Veritas Software Holding Limited was incorporated, no? So, Software Holding Limited. Ano yung hinohold niya? Kasi yung iba, yung hinohold nila, yung mga shares of stocks, dito naman, intangibles, no? So, was incorporated as an Irish corporation, no, in Ireland. VSHL, or Veritas Software Holding Limited, was a resident of Bermuda, no, another tax haven countries, and a wholly owned subsidiaries of Veritas US, no. So, ito na, they set up a complicated structure, no. In August 1999, Veritas Software International Limited, VSIL, another naman to kanina, VSHL Holding. Ito naman, international, no? So, VSIL. Was incorporated as a resident of Ireland and a wholly owned subsidiary of VSHL, no? Veritas Software Limited. Veritas UK and Veritas Software Asia Pacific Trading Private Limited, no? Veritas Singapore, disregarded entities for US income tax purposes. Ano ibig sabihin po ng disregarded entities? This is a business with a single owner that is not separate from the owner for federal income tax purposes, no? So, disregarded entities yan, meaning kasama siya pag nag-file ng income tax yung isang company, no? Na siya yung disregarded entities, no? Sino yung disregarded entities dito ng US income tax? Yung Asia Pacific Private Limited. Ito yung Veritas Singapore, no? Also wholly owned by VSHL, no? Yung Veritas Software Holding Limited. In 2000 and 2001, ito yung year in issue, yung 1999, 2000 at saka 2001. VSHL, VSIL, Veritas UK, and Veritas Singapore, collectively, Veritas Ireland, o sila yung mga Veritas Ireland na subsidiaries, were subsidiaries of Veritas US, no? So, mga subsidiaries din sila ng Veritas US. So, effective November 3, 1999, Veritas US assigned to Veritas Ireland all of Veritas US existing sales agreement with European-based sales subsidiaries like Veritas UK, Veritas Sweden, Veritas Switzerland, Veritas France, and Veritas Germany. Also, on that effective date, Veritas US Veritas Operating Corp in SMG and Veritas Ireland entered into the agreement for sharing research and development cost. Alam nyo anong ginagawa dito nila? Pinatatag. Make their company strong. No? Nag-build talaga sila ng structure na hindi mo sila kayang kalabanin o kaya itumba. Bakit? Very complicated structure. No? Kumbaga sa nakahaligi siya. Iba-iba. So, tama lang din na yung ginagawa nila, backup ng computer. Sila, gumawa din sila ng backup, no? In terms of organizing these companies to back up their operations. Alam nyo, sa buhay natin, talagang importante yung backup eh. Kaya siguro, gagawin ko din yan na isang topic sa Tips for Life, no? Yung backup in our lives. No? Kasi kailangan talaga natin ng backup. Otherwise, wala. Hindi tayo makakatayo. Pagka may mga challenges, no, na mangyayari sa buhay natin, mahihirapan tayo. Pero kung may complicated structures na tayong ginawa para may support tayo kung may nangyayari sa buhay natin, then hindi tayo mahihirapan, no? Okay. So, entered into the agreement for sharing research and development cost, no? Ito yung research and development agreement. And Veritas US and Veritas Ireland enter into technology license agreement. So ano naman ang ginawa ni Veritas at saka Ireland at saka US? Gumawa sila ng technology license agreement. Bakit? Kasi si Veritas US, siya yung may-ari ng mga intangibles. So ano ginawa niya? Nag-execute sila ng technology license agreement, no? Sa mga gumagawa ng transfer pricing analysis, isang trabaho natin is to look for the agreement signed by the companies. Kasi titingnan natin kung arm's length, no? So, una-una titingnan mo itong bang technology license agreement between Veritas Ireland and Veritas US are arm's length. Ibig sabihin, yun din yung price ng independent parties. Kasi pag hindi, then you have to adjust, no? So, ganun pag naggawa ka ng transfer pricing analysis, sasagutin mo yung requirement na itong license agreement, yung mga provisions dyan na nag-agree yung dalawang company, dapat arm's length yan, no? So, with respect to the RDA or Research and Development Agreement, Veritas Ireland refers to VSHL and VSIL, the two parties who entered into the Research and Development Agreement with Veritas US, no? With respect to the Technology License Agreement or TLA, Veritas Ireland refers to VSHL and VSIL, the two parties who entered into the TLA with Veritas US. As previously stated, the CSA consisted of these agreements. No? Okay. Wala pa rin shoutout, Hari?
Wala pa rin po, madam.
Okay. So, pursuant to the RDA or Research and Development Agreement, the signatories agreed to pool the respective resources and R&D efforts related to the software products and software manufacturing processes. Tingnan mo ha, itong mga korporasyon na sinabi nila na establish, nag-pull together, and then patayin mo yung doon. May sound pala. Salita eh. Okay, so pursuant to the Research and Development Agreement, the signatories agreed to pool the respective resources and R&D efforts related to software products and software manufacturing processes. No? So they also agreed to share the cost and risk of such research and development on a going forward basis. The RDA provided Veritas Ireland with the exclusive, no, ang Ireland to ha, Veritas Ireland, exclusive and perpetual right to manufacture products utilizing, embodying, or incorporating the covered intangibles with Veritas Ireland territory, and the non-exclusive and perpetual right to otherwise utilize the covered intangibles worldwide, including in the marketing, sale, and licensing of products, utilizing, embodying, or incorporating the covered intangibles, and in further research into similar technology. Dito na siguro nakita ng IRS, no, the commissioner, na may sinasabi dito na ang license ng Veritas Ireland to utilize, no, the intangibles in perpetuity. Kaya ang ginawa nila, binalyo nila yung intangibles in perpetuity. Hindi nila na-anticipate na yung intangibles hanggang 4 years lang yung life cycle. No? So dito nagkulang ng consideration o ng estimate yung US. No? Kasi the Veritas was able to prove na yung product life cycle nila is 4 years lang. No? So sinasabi kasi dito na in perpetuity, perpetual right to utilize the covered intangibles worldwide. Ibig sabihin yung intangibles na yan, pwede niyang gamitin, no? May perpetual right siya. But take note na itong intangibles, nag-i-innovate to palagi kasi 4 years lang yung life niya. No? So, dito yung na-miss yung computation. The RDA defined Veritas Ireland territory as Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia, and the Asia Pacific. No? Okay. So the RDA defined covered intangibles as any and all inventions, patents, copyrights, computer programs in source code and object code form, flowcharts, formula, enhancement, updates, translations, adaptations, information, specifications, designs, process technology, manufacturing requirements, quality control standards, and other intangible property rights arising from or developed as a result of the research program. So, dito sa definition to ng intangibles dito sa case ng Veritas, in-expand nila dito yung definition ng intangibles, no? Kasi sinama nila sa intangibles lahat-lahat, oh, ano to? Any and all inventions, patents, copyrights, computer programs, no? Flowcharts, formula, enhancement, updates, translations, adaptations, information, specification, designs, process technology, manufacturing requirements, quality control standards, and other intangible property rights, no? So, napakalawak ng definition nila na intangibles. So, pursuant to the TLA or Technology License Agreement, Veritas US granted Veritas Ireland the right to use certain covered intangibles as well as the right to use Veritas US trademarks, no? Trademarks, trade names, and service marks in EMEA and APG, no? Yung Asia Pacific, Japan, at saka yung Europe, Middle East, and Asia, no? So the TLA defined covered intangibles as, no? So ano naman tong covered intangibles? Any and all inventions. No? So, na-define na to kanina. Okay. any and all inventions, patents, copyrights, computer programs in source code and object code form, flowcharts, formula, enhancement, updates, translation, adaptations, information, specification, designs, process technology, manufacturing requirements, quality control standards, and other intangible property rights arising in existence as of the effective date of this agreement relating to the design, development, manufacture, production, operation, maintenance, and or repair of any or all of the products. So, ang daming binigay na um, pwedeng gawin ng Veritas Ireland. In exchange for the rights granted by the TLA, Veritas Ireland agreed to pay Veritas US royalties. So magbabayad siya ng royalties. The TLA, which was amended on 3 occasions, specified the initial royalty rates as well as prepayment amount, lump sum buy-in payment. The TLA provided that the parties shall adjust the royalty rate prospectively or retrospectively as necessary so that the rate will remain an arm's length rate. So sila mismo ay they are guarded, na kailangan arm's length yung rate na ina-observe nila. So in that case, ma-aware na din yung nagta-transfer pricing audit na aware pala itong company na to on the arm's length rate, and they are guarded, na alam nila, and they really are compliant to this arm's length, arm's length na rate. Okay. So, in 1999, Veritas Ireland paid Veritas US 6.3 million and agreed to prepay Veritas US in 2000 the remaining consideration relating to the pre-existing intangibles. So, in 2000, Veritas Ireland made a 166 million lump sum buy-in payment to Veritas US, and in 2002, Veritas Ireland and Veritas US adjusted the payment to 118 million. So, nagbayad siya ng 166 million, pero inadjust na naman niya ng noong 2002, 118 million. Okay, so paano nag-operate itong Veritas Ireland? So, the Veritas Ireland operations. Kaya yung ginagawa ko ngayon sa mga transfer pricing analysis ko, mayroong operational background, and then my legal, the legal environment, yung companies. Para doon pa lang sa intro mo, papakita mo na how the company works and then how they adhere to the arm's length principle. So prior to the establishment of Veritas Ireland, Veritas US supply chain and distribution channels to the EMEA, to yung Europe, Middle East, and Asia, and APG, Asia Pacific and Japan. Markets were weak and inefficient. Okay. So net backup, volume manager, file system, cluster server, and foundation suite were manufactured in Pleasanton, California. And backup exec was manufactured by a contractor in Lisle, France. So, pina-contract nila ang manufacturing ng backup exec. So, in 1999, Veritas Ireland began co-developing, nag-manufacture na rin yung Veritas Ireland, and selling Veritas US products in the EMEA and APG markets. So, nag-manufacture na dun sa Ireland yung Veritas Ireland. Veritas Ireland facility in Shannon Country, Clare, Ireland, manufactured net backup, file system, volume manager, cluster server, and foundation suite. The Ireland location had a production line, quality control stations, and a CD replication tower. Veritas Ireland controlled all aspects of production, planning, shipping, and logistics. It also processed purchase orders and bore contractual credit and collection risks relating to transactions in the EMEA and APG. Parang nag-independent na talaga yung Ireland, and APG markets. With Veritas Ireland in control of the manufacturing process and managing the Lisle contractor, the supply chain became much more efficient. Naging maganda yung supply chain nila. Bakit? Well managed na. At saka malapit na sa mga customers. kaysa doon lahat naka-manufacture sa US. So in 2001, Veritas Ireland outsourced the manufacture of volume manager, file system, cluster server, and foundation suite. So in-outsource na niya. Pinagawa niya sa iba. No? Veritas Ireland developed the EMEA and APJ markets without significant input from Veritas US. Siya lang ang nag-develop na market. In 1999, Veritas US customer base had little or no value because of its minimal market share and limited presence in EMEA and APG. At that time, there were dami namang lamok hari. Laki. No? Okay. Yun. Okay, so Veritas Ireland controlled all aspects of production, planning, shipping, and logistics. No? So it also processed purchase orders and bore contractual credit and collection risk relating to the transaction in the EMEA and APG markets. No? So with Veritas Ireland in control of the manufacturing process and managing the the contractor, the supply chain became much more efficient. No? Naging efficient yung supply chain, no? If you try to look at yung Ramo 1-2019 natin, no? Kaya sa mga ini-incorporate ko na, kaya nga yung gagawin ko ng mga transfer pricing analysis report ngayon somewhat nagiging complicated. Why? Kasi meron na tayong guide on the transfer pricing audit and I want to address, no? Itong ating mga issues na magiging findings during the transfer pricing audit. Gusto ko ipakita na siya during the transfer pricing analysis report. No? Okay. So in 2001, Veritas Ireland outsourced the manufacture of volume manager, file system, cluster server, and foundation suite. Veritas Ireland developed the EMEA and APJ markets without significant input from Veritas US. So in 1999, Veritas US customer base had little or no value. Ang dami. Because of its minimal market share and limited presence in EMEA and APG. So at that time, there were 2 offices in the United Kingdom, no? One in Chelsea and one in Reading. The Chelsea office was staffed by direct sales employees. The Reading office was staffed by 2 small teams, a distribution team and a reseller team of inept workers. So Veritas Ireland focused on the basics of building a more extensive sales business and stronger distribution channel. No? Kasi pagka provider ka ng goods, dapat yung distribution channel mo is maganda. No? Kaya nga yun yung nakita ko nung 2016, no, while I was in Kuala Lumpur. No, I was so amazed na yung airport nila, ang laki-laki, ang daming warehouses. Yun pala, yun na yung anticipation na magiging internet na yung world natin. Why? So, anong ginagawa nun? Yung distribution channel mo nandun na sa airport, ready na for delivery mo directly sa customer. No? In 2000, Veritas Ireland hired a new distribution sales manager who was responsible for expanding its product paths to market. Veritas Ireland's new management totally changed the culture by continually upgrading Veritas Ireland's sales resources, no? Examining distributor and reseller reports, finding new customers, initiating interaction with the reseller base, providing sales incentives for distributors, training and educating the distributors' pre-sales teams, and firing underperforming salesmen. O, giro mo, no? So, apparent talaga that na pagka-underperformer yung salesman mo, you have to fire them. Otherwise, magsasuffer yung sales mo. Your product, no? And your company. Distributors and resellers. To further expand its sales presence, Veritas Ireland accessed and leveraged its distribution partners, sales organizations, and customers' contact. No? So, ito yung, alam mo talaga, no? Kaya yung sabi ko, when you make a strategy, tumbok mo talaga kung ano yung nakaka-apekto dun sa performance mo. Hindi yung di ka nag-a-analyze, no? Suntok sa buwan, kaya yung kung ano yung magiging issue, hindi mo siya na-answer. No? So, Veritas Ireland operations and its presence in the EMEA territory grew substantially from 2000 to 2006, no? Because of their effective management, no? So by 2001, the Ireland facility had increased from 12,000 to 40,000 square feet, and the number of Veritas Ireland employees had increased from 20 to more than 100. So by 2002, Veritas Ireland had over 25 new offices and subsidiaries in 19 countries. And by 2004, Veritas Ireland had more than 1,500 employees in more than 30 countries. From 1999 to 2006, Veritas Ireland spent 1.374 billion on sales and marketing expenses, 676 million on cost sharing payments, 456 million on customer service expenses, 146 million on administrative expenses, and 124 million on buy-in payments. No? So, kailan yan? 2002. In 2000, Veritas Ireland first full year of operation, revenues were approximately 200 million. By 2003, Veritas Ireland license revenue had doubled, and by 2004, its annual revenues were 5 times higher than Veritas US 1999 revenues attributable to EMEA and APG. Oh, tingnan mo, because of the strategy that they made, anong nangyari? More than 5 times higher than Veritas US. You can just imagine na ang laki na nung sales ng Veritas US, pero 5 times higher pa yung sales ng Veritas Ireland. No? Okay, so procedural history. Ano tong procedural history? Anong oras na, Hari?
1 hour and 42 minutes.
Okay, so continue lang po tayo, no? Veritas US timely filed federal income tax returns for 2000 and 2001. Ito yung inassess sila ng IRS, no? So on the 2000 return, Veritas US reported a 166 million lump sum buy-in payment from Veritas Ireland in response to Veritas Ireland updates sales figure and forecast, no? So Veritas US on December 17, 2002 amended the 2000 return, reducing the lump sum buy-in payments to 118 million. Kasi nag-decrease siya, no? Nag-adjust. So respondent examined Veritas US 2000 and 2001 returns and concluded that the cost sharing allocation reported did not clearly reflect Veritas US income. Kasi kung talagang tutuusin mo, ito yung mga complicated structures na ginawa ng Veritas, sila pa rin yun eh. Kasi sila din naman yung may-ari. So it doesn't matter saan man napunta yung pera, whether nasa Veritas US yan, whether Veritas Ireland, it doesn't matter. Why? Kasi itong group of people na sila yung may-ari ng Veritas, sa kanila pa rin yun. But, ano yung contention dito ng mga tax authorities? No? Sila yung nag-aagawan. Kasi yung taxes na ibabayad, doon sa kanila, that's why they determine na dapat ito, income talaga to ng Veritas US. So that, yung Veritas US will pay the tax to the government of US. No? Yun lang naman yung pinag-aawayan sa transfer pricing. Hindi naman yung kung ano talaga yung totoong nangyari, but on the payment of taxes. No? Kaya pwedeng gawin ng mga nasa management kahit ano yung gusto nila, but be sure na the proper tax should be paid to the proper authority. No? Respondent examined Veritas US 2000 2001 returns and concluded that the cost sharing allocation reported, no, so did not reflect clearly reflect Veritas US income. So on March 29, 2006, respondent issued petitioner a notice of deficiency, no, inassess na siya, based on a report prepared by Brian Becker. So in the notice, respondent stated, ito yung basis niya ng assessment, no? Kaya highlight ko to. Ano yung basis niya ng assessment? Ito po. In accordance with Section 482, Section 482 is about allocation, distribution, and ng income and expenses mo kung giving the commissioner the authority kung makita nila na merong element ng tax evasion. No? So, in accordance with Section 482 of the Internal Revenue Code, to clearly reflect the income of the entities, we have allocated income and deductions as a result of the transfer and/or license or pre-existing intangible property in connection with the cost-sharing arrangement and technology license agreement, both effective November 3, 1999. So Baker employed the foregone profits method. Ano yung foregone profits method? Yun, nawawala mo na profit because tinransfer mo. The market capitalization method and an analysis of Veritas US arm's length acquisition to arrive at a series of values ranging from 1.9 billion to 4 billion. You can just imagine, no? Pero kung balikan natin yung presentation kanina ng Veritas, ang isang pagkakamali lang dito talaga ng IRS is they value the software in perpetuity, no? Napatunayan naman ng Veritas na ang life cycle lang is 4 years, no? Okay. So ranging from 1.9 billion to 4 billion for the lump sum buy-in payment. He ultimately decided that the 2.5 billion buy-in payment was appropriate, no? So since ang ang range niya ng value niya is 1.9 to 4, so anong ginawa niya? Nasa gitna siya, no? So 2.5 billion yung buy-in payment niya dapat as against the 118 million lang na ni-report nung Veritas US, no? Kasi yung 2.5 billion na to, babayaran mo ng taxes to kasi income to eh. So babayaran mo ng taxes sa US. Na how much is the rate doon? Masyado mataas, no? So in accordance with Baker's calculation, respondent in the notice to petitioner made a 2.5 billion allocation of income to Veritas US and determined deficiencies of 704 million and 54 million and Section 6662 penalties of 281 million and 22 million relating to 2000 and 2001 respectively. So yan, ang dami ng assessment. So on June 26, 2006, petitioner timely filed its petition with the court seeking redetermination of the deficiencies and penalties set forth in the notice. No? So nag-file siya ng petition, no? Para i-recompute yung deficiency taxes niya. Okay. On August 25, 2006, the court filed respondent's answer, and on August 31, 2006, the court filed respondent's amended answer. No? So may amended answer na. Respondent in his statement of position filed September 6, 2007 stated, in view of the fact that information is still being collected and analyzed, respondent cannot state which transfer pricing methods he intends to utilize at trial. So on October 11, 2007, respondent in a supplement to his statement of position notified the court and petitioner that he was going to employ the foregone profits method, yung nawala na profits, but was not going to rely on the market capitalization method or call Baker as a witness. No? So respondent in the October 11, 2007 statement also stated, respondent will use the actual income figures and projections extrapolated from those figures to determine the value of the intangibles and consequently the total compensation due. So petitioner from Veritas Ireland for the intangibles based on a preliminary analysis of petitioner actual income figures which are less than petitioner's projections relied upon by Dr. Baker. Respondent anticipates that the resulting value will be less than the amount used in the notice of deficiency. In that case, respondent will not contend that the value is greater than the amount determined by his experts at trial. Anong oras na?
1 hour and 50.
Okay, so tapusin natin. Pero hindi natin ito matapos talaga kasi mahaba pa. Pero sa next natin, posible na, no? Okay. Kasi as I told you, ayoko yung meat mismo. Hindi ko alam sa iba. Uy, gawan mo na lang ng summary, gawan mo ng ano. Yung meat talaga nung mga strategies, yung comparability factors na sinasabi ng OECD, hindi mo maipakita, no? Okay. Respondent will use the actual income figures and projections extrapolated from those figures to determine the value of the intangibles and consequently the total compensation due petitioner from Veritas Ireland for the intangibles. No? So ang hinahanap nila talaga yung amount or yung value ng intangibles na nilipat ng Veritas US to its subsidiary, wholly owned subsidiary niya sa Veritas Ireland. No? Para sa akin, wala nga talagang nilipat no? Bakit? Kasi siya din naman yung nandun sa Veritas Island. So the total compensation due petitioner from Veritas Island for the intangibles, based on a preliminary analysis of petitioner's actual income figures, which are less than petitioner's projections relied upon by Dr. Becker. No? So respondent anticipates that the resulting value will be less than the amount used in the notice of deficiency. No? So ayaw nila ipavalue doon sa 2.5 billion. No? In that case, respondent will not contend that the value is greater than the amount determined by his experts at trial. No? Kasi uso sa kanila doon na kumukuha sila talaga ng expert witness. No? Okay. And that expert witness opinion has weight in court. No? So on April 10, 2007, the court filed the party stipulation of settled issues relating to stock-based compensation. So technical support services and Section 666(2) penalties. On May 24, 2007, the court filed the party stipulation of settled issues, no, relating to the research and development agreement. No? So pursuant to the May 24, 2007 stipulation, the parties established the 2000 and 2001 arm's length values of Veritas Ireland's proportional shares of the cost-sharing payment. No? So the parties stipulated the stock-based compensation cost at issue. Ito yung stock-based compensation ng mga employees, no? Binibigyan sila ng compensation in the form of stocks or ownership to the company. At issue and agreed that the determination of whether such cost must be included in the cost-sharing pool would be controlled by the final decision within the meaning of Section 7481 of the Internal Revenue Code or the Code. So in Silings Inc., sa susunod ito ang anuhin mo, Haria, kunin mo itong case na to kasi kahit na old siya, 2005 pa, maganda din siya. Kasi ang diniscuss dyan yung stock-based compensation. No? So in Silings Inc. and Subsidiaries versus Commissioner 125 TC 37, 2005, no? So WL20827982 2005. Appeals docket number 0674246 and 0674269. 9th Circuit, August 30 and September 29, 2006. No? So, ganun ka-detalyado yung kanilang proceedings. In addition, respondent conceded adjustment relating to technical support services. Okay. Veritas Ireland shares of reasonably anticipated benefits pursuant to Section 1.482, 7, F3, Income Tax Regulations were 23.04% relating to 2000 and 28.47% relating to 2001. No? Yan yung anticipated benefits. Okay, so may shoutout pa? May nanonood pa?
Nanonood pa ma'am.
Okay. Sila Banji nang sumagot?
Hindi nag-reply ma'am.
Pero naka-note sila. Okay. So on January 11, 2008, the court filed petitioner's motion for partial summary judgment. No? So in the motion, petitioner contended that respondent had abandoned the 2.5 billion allocation and the methodology set forth in the notice. The notice was fundamentally defective, and respondent determination was arbitrary, capricious, and unreasonable. Petitioner further contended that pursuant to precedent governing the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, the burden of proof shifts to respondent. No? Sino yung respondent dito? Yung IRS. No? Or the commissioner. The court on February 6, 2008 filed respondent's notice of objection to petitioner's motion for partial summary judgment. March 7, 2008, respondent submitted to the court an expert report prepared by John Hatz. No? So Hatz, employing a discounted cash flow analysis, concluded that the requisite lump sum buy-in payment was 1.65 billion and calculated as an alternative at 22.2% perpetual annual royalty. No? So dito sila natalo. Kasi perpetual annual royalty and 22.2%, mataas yan. In determining the best method to calculate the buy-in payment, Hatz rejected the comparable uncontrolled transactions. No? Kasi yung expert ng Veritas, ang recommendation nila is you use the comparable uncontrolled transactions. No? So, ang sabi naman ng expert witness ng commissioner, hindi raw or reject the comparable and controlled transaction method. No? And the profit split method. He contended that prior to November 3, 1999, Veritas US had made several acquisitions of software companies that offered complementary and in some cases competing products. No? Hatz opined that those acquisitions were comparable to the CSA or cost-sharing arrangement because Veritas US received rights pursuant to the acquisitions that were similar to those which Veritas Ireland received pursuant to the cost-sharing arrangement. So on the basis of his findings, Hatz characterized the cost-sharing arrangement as akin to a sale, no, or geographic spin-off, no, akin to a sale theory and employed the income method to determining the requisite buy-in payment. So, Hatz defined the buy-in payments as the present value of royalty obligations expected to be paid under arm's length royalty terms applicable to the rights conferred on a go-forward basis. He did not individually value any of the specific items that were allegedly transferred to Veritas Ireland. No? So yun yung sabi ni Hatz. Instead, he employed an aggregate valuation approach that was based on a three-step analysis. No? First, Hatz estimated the arm's length royalty around that would be due in such period. For instance, each calendar year or portion thereof after November 1, 1999 of the CSA or cost-sharing arrangement. Second, Hatz chose a discount rate to convert estimated future royalty payments into November 1999 dollars. Third, Hatz calculated the buy-in payment as equal to the present value of the royalty payment, estimated in step 1, discounted at the rate determined in step 2. Hatz concluded that the requisite buy-in payment was 1.675 billion and that at 22.2% perpetual annual royalty was economically equivalent to the requisite 1.675 billion payment. In calculating the requisites buy-in payment, Hatz assumed that the pre-existing intangibles have a perpetual useful life. No? So in addition, he concluded that 13.7% was the appropriate discount rate and 17.91% was the appropriate compound annual growth rate. No? Okay. On March 21, 2008, the court filed respondent motion for leave to file amendment to amended answer and lodged respondent amendment to amended answer. In the proposed amendment, respondent alleged that the requisite buy-in payment was 1.675 billion, payable as either lump sum payment or a 22.2% perpetual royalty. So in paragraph 9F of the proposed amendment, respondent asserted an adjustment relating to a transfer of certain other intangible rights. Respondent specifically alleged a transfer of access by Veritas US marketing team, access to Veritas US research and development team, and Veritas US trademarks, trade names, customer base, customer list, distribution channel, and sales agreements, no, collectively, paragraph 9F items. Petitioner in its notice of objection to respondent's motion for leave to file amendment to amended answer filed April 10, 2008. So contended that respondent's assertion of the paragraph 9F items raised a new matter because the issue was not described in the notice of deficiency and required the presentation of new evidence. No? Okay. No oras na.
1 hour 59 minutes.
Sige, tapusin ko lang to hanggang discussion. No? So on May 2, 2008, the court held a hearing, May 2 hearing, related to the aforementioned motions. In an order issued June 13, 2008, June 13 order, we denied petitioner's motion for partial summary judgment and concluded that there was a genuine issue with respect to whether respondent had abandoned the theory and methodology set forth in the notice. Petitioner had failed to establish that the notice was fundamentally defective, and petitioner had therefore failed to establish that the determination was arbitrary, capricious, or unreasonable. No? So with respect to whether the burden of proof shift to respondent, we concluded that it was premature to rule on the issue. We also granted respondents' motion for leave to file amendment to amended answer and concluded that the notice of deficiency was sufficiently broad to include the paragraph 9 of items, and therefore respondent amendment to amended answer did not raise a new matter. So we stated if after an evaluation of expert and fact witnesses, we determined that an adjustment relating to such items is not appropriate, that such items were not in fact transferred, or that such items are not intangibles, no? Pursuant to Section 482, we may conclude that the notice of deficiency is arbitrary, capricious, or unreasonable, no? So yun nangyari yun noong July 1, 2008, no? Okay, so our discussion will continue in our next streaming on Monday. No? So I would like to invite everyone to please join our free seminar on the transfer pricing basic and documentation. No? Kasi I found it necessary para lahat ng mga queries, no? Yung mga tanong about documentation, kasi hindi natin maintindihan. Yung iba, pasensya na hindi ko talaga nasasagot ang tanong. Kasi kung sasagutin ko, baka isang araw ko sasagutin. Why? Kasi di ba siya kayang i-explain ng diretso, no? Hindi maintindihan. Why? Because yung nagtatanong, wala ang basic knowledge in transfer pricing. So, kasi kung may basic knowledge in transfer pricing, hindi niya tatanong yung mga ganun na klase ng tanong that it requires a lot of explanation kasi nga wala siyang alam sa basic. So, mahirapan tayo doon. Kaya I prefer na hindi ko na lang sinagot. So, sabi ko, gagawa na lang tayo ng free seminar ulit na 2 days din para matakil natin lahat at just on time for the filing, no? Na kailangan meron na tayong BR Form 1709. So, at least, parang another, parang another action siya to work together with that of our free seminar for tax preparer. No? Kasi doon sa tax preparer, hindi naman natin na discuss doon yung filing ng annual income tax return at saka yung attachment niya na 1709. No? So, kaya gagawin natin yan doon sa 2 days seminar natin. But yung first day, puro basic talaga yun. But, of course, basic na nag-enhance din tayo or nag-update tayo kasi i-introduce natin during the explanations natin ng mga basic knowledge and transfer pricing, yung mga jurisprudence na decided already by court. In short, yung application, discuss na rin natin sa inyo para mas lalo na iintindihan. Okay? So, with that, I would like to say thank you po sa ating mga subscribers. Thank you for our viewers and let's call it a night. Good evening, everyone.